Hey there. So, obviously, I'm not in LA or St. Louis. I'm in San Francisco, and this is shot 10 months later. But anyway, I didn't have an intro shot for this particular video, so I just thought I would do a quick one here to start off this Southwest flight. Today I'll be flying aboard the Love airline on a 737-800 over to Los Angeles, continuing from Pittsburgh and Midway over to St. Louis and now to LA. So, hope you enjoy the video. Greetings from Lambert Airport's Terminal 2, home of an ever-growing Southwest Airlines focus city. If there's one Midwestern airport that lost its legacy hub, in this case TWA, and has since rebounded, St. Louis would immediately pop up in my mind. Southwest is expanding rapidly here, adding more flights, now up to 58 destinations, as well as taking over and remodeling unused gates from the TWA days, all culminating into them now owning over 60% of the market share here, solidifying themselves as the dominant carrier at STL. My LAX gate today will be E18, which is located in Southwest's original Terminal 2 concourse, which, as you can see here, is very similar to other focus cities they have in terms of design and architecture. They also have what I found to be plenty of shops and food options, which I always love in an airport terminal. No plane here yet at my gate, as we're still 2 hours till departure. It'll be arriving in from Chicago Midway, of all places, in about 40 minutes. If any of you watched my last video about Southwest's no plane change experience, I explained how common it is to pass through other cities on Southwest. And, well, here's another perfect example. I actually could have picked the no plane change through STL here, but just chose MDW instead to explore this airport a bit. And speaking of exploring, trying to explore STL's free Wi-Fi will only last an hour before it kicks you off. Like, seriously? In 2020? Since I had some time here, I decided to get some lunch from Burger King. The gate areas, by the way, in Terminal 2 are quite nice. Plenty of charging ports, and seats aren't jammed in here like some airports. As you may have caught on the sign, in December 2020, Southwest was still boarding by groups of 10 people instead of the usual 30 due to COVID, so those numbered poles won't really be in full use today. Speaking of the C word, up until December, Southwest had capped their flights at 2/3 capacity. This was the first month they started filling their planes full again. And speak of the devil, there comes my ride to the West Coast today. An 8508W. Is a relatively new Boeing 737-800 delivered to Southwest in November of 2016, making her just over 4 years old at the time of filming. Normally on Southwest, boarding is done like so. Pre-boarders are first, then A1 to 30, A31 to 60, A-listers, active military, and families, then B1 to 30, 30 to 60, and same with the Cs. But with the groups of 10, I don't even know if this flight got to the Bs or the Cs. It'll be another very light flight, which means open row for me for a third time?
How are you today?
How are you?
Good. Very well. Make sure the wheels are up.
So, as promised in my last video, here is one of Southwest's newest and best products in the skies. On board this Boeing 737-800, there are 175 total seats, All economy, all the same, minus some extra legroom in row 1 and the exit rows. As is the norm with Southwest, once on board you can pick any seat you'd like, the only major US airline to have open seating. I will choose 20F on this, never mind, 20A on this flight. And now for a look at the seat. All 175 on board are colored Southwest blue with a white outline around the adjustable headrest. While not incredibly padded, these seats definitely are comfy and give off a much more sleek, modern, and stylized look for the airline. The armrests on each side are of a more slim variety, but there is still a recline button on one side giving passengers a few inches to lower their seat and piss off the guy behind them. Legroom on board is very good. I'm 6 foot and I've never had a problem ever on these 737-800s, even with larger people in both seats next to me. Below is a small seat back pocket where personal items can be stored, and up top is where the safety card and barf bag can be found in the literature pocket. Topping off this whole modernized look for Southwest is the cabin's large overhead bins and sweet mood lighting, which really enhances the overall flight experience.
Are Brittany, Jenna, Tracy Lee, I'm Debbie. Shortly after takeoff, we will serve a delicious cup of cold water, and not one, but 2 snacks. And that's all we got. We're not out in the cabin as much as normal, so if you do need something and we're not out there, feel free to push that flight attendant call button.
Did I mention that Southwest is also famous for their friendly and funny employees? Doesn't happen as much now as it used to happen, but boy, do I like it when the flight attendants really show that they love their job and treating their passengers right. Our takeoff runway for the flight out west will be 30 left, which is literally right along the terminal, so will be quite a short taxi.
Secure with the elastic strap. Even though the bag may not inflate, you will be receiving oxygen or alcohol depending on which button you push. Thank you guys so much. Welcome aboard.
Flight time over to LAX today will be 3 hours and 42 minutes, cruising along at 38,000 feet or around 11,600 meters, passing by Kansas City and the entire state of Kansas before we rise up to 40k feet for the rest of the westward journey over southern Colorado, the Navajo Nation in northern New Mexico and Arizona, just south of the Grand Canyon, past the Mojave Desert, before finally entering California and gliding into Los Angeles. Shortly into the flight, the crew came around with snacks for everyone who wanted them. On longer flights like this, Southwest will hand out 2 different types, which today was a pack of snack mix and a bag of brownie brittle, which is actually another new item Southwest just introduced in 2020. Unfortunately, the tray table I opened was a bit dirty from the last flight, which I understand is tough to detail clean in like the 10 minutes they have on the ground, but in these days it's gonna be noticed. As far as size, the tray table isn't very large, but it is a good size and very sturdy.
We're going to be a few minutes early into Los Angeles. We're 20 minutes early. And you can follow that along on the flight tracker via the Wi-Fi. Enjoy the flight. Thank you for choosing Southwest Airlines.
In case you wanted to see a nice, neat shot of how all the snacks look, voila! And yeah, as you saw, the flight attendants came around again with cups of water for everybody. At the time, that's all Southwest was offering in the drink department due to the pandemic still. But as of the release of this video, Coke, Diet Coke, 7-Up, hot coffee, and hot tea are now added back. Pretty much all Southwest planes are equipped with Wi-Fi and free in-flight entertainment, which can be accessed by clicking Southwest Wi-Fi on any mobile device. Once redirected to the home page, all their entertainment, info, and flight maps can be found. I'll do a tour of their system later on. For now, here's the flight map. Just entered a cloudy Kansas airspace. I usually don't purchase Southwest's $8 Wi-Fi unless I really need it, which I did not on this flight, so I took the opportunity to get some editing done on this cross-country trek, with an occasional look, or two, or three, out the window, especially as we began to cross the snow-covered Rockies. As it's getting cloudy again, probably a good time to show the rest of Southwest's IFE features. First off, the drink menu can be found on here, which is relevant now, but not when I flew them. Usually when it comes to movies, there are around 50 available, which I've always found to work very well and with very little connection problems. And since I flew around the holidays, lots of Christmas movies were up to watch. Southwest also offers 17 live TV channels with news, sports, and the Disney Channel available, several TV shows and series from Netflix and such, which, as you can see from my speed test with The Big Bang Theory, works almost immediately on the spot. And finally, several popular podcasts and music playlists can be found as well. Southwest overall has a very consistent, well-rounded entertainment lineup that I think perfectly suits a major, mostly domestic US airline like them. The lavatories on board are very similar in size to Southwest's Boeing 737-700s, but as it is with the rest of this plane, it is updated and more modern with ambient blue lighting inside, lots of glass mirrors all around, and a sink that actually works. It is a bit small though, which is my one negative with this lav. When walking through the cabin, the aisle is noticeably slim, and I always find myself dodging people's feet and arms, something that actually doesn't happen on ultra low-cost carriers like Spirit and Allegiant. Now, obviously, it's due to those seats being much more narrow than Southwest's, which I will always prefer Southwest, but once I do another ultra low-cost carrier video, you'll see what I mean. It's kind of noticeable.
Any carry-on items that you brought out during flight, please sneak those back underneath
After a very relaxing and comfortable flight with a whole row to myself, letting me spread my feet and all my tech throughout, we started our initial descent into LA over the Mojave Desert. So flight attendants started preparing the cabin for arrival and collecting trash and the usual shebang. Luckily, the smoke finally cleared Southern California in December after a brutal wildfire season in 2020. If you did watch all my LA 2020 flights, it was smoky for pretty much all of them. So this will be a nice change. Our landing approach will be the typical LAX approach over San Bernardino and into runway 24 right, aka the one by the famous In-N-Out. And 3 hours 42 minutes later, we've made it to a beautiful SoCal and the one and only Los Angeles International Airport. Echoing my thoughts from throughout the flight, Southwest's newer 737-800s with their updated cabins and hard product are a fantastic plane to fly across the US on. Unfortunately, not all of them have this new interior though, which you'll quickly find out if the seats are gold. But if you can get lucky with one of these or a Boeing 737 MAX, the service and the seats beat out a lot of legacy economy products out there. As I often say, crews make or break a flight, and with these folks seeming to love their job and being nice to their passengers, it just upped the overall experience even more. I really wish every Southwest flight could be a repeat of this video. But believe it or not, the hard product actually gets even better on their newest MAX planes, which I will have a review out eventually on. It's really awesome. Alright, and here we are inside LAX's Terminal 1, the Southwest Terminal here at LAX. We arrived into gate 18B located at the end of it, so we'll be a little further walk to the exit, but plane to door isn't that long anyways here at LAX if you're flying domestic. The next video I upload will come back to real time briefly, in other words 2021, as another special flight is taking place very soon. So be sure to follow my Instagram stories if you'd like to see where I am live. The rest of this trip will continue after that with my first ever business class flight on the channel, but that'll conclude this video across the US on Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-800 in their newer economy product. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys for watching and catch you on the next one.